Hello and welcome to our presentation about circular economy strategies. The companies we have chosen are IKEA, Durat and Kesko. We will start by introducing these companies and their circular activities and continue to compare them. Lastly, we will discuss how Finland is coping with circular economy and we will list some policy ideas for Finland. Now let's start with our first company, IKEA. So, IKEA is a well-known global home furnishing brand which has stores in 30 countries. IKEA has quite an ambitious goal to be fully circular by the year 2030. In order to achieve this, it has four main goals, which you can see here on the slide. The goals include enabling customers to do circular activities, producing 100% circular products, using only renewable and recycled materials, and lastly, achieving a circular economy by joining forces through partnerships and collaboration. Now let's take a look at where IKEA is now in its development towards circular economy. At this point, 60% of IKEA's product range is based on renewable materials such as wood and cotton, and 10% contains recycled materials. IKEA focuses on using renewable wood-based materials and increasing the amount of recycled materials, such as recycled plastic, in their products. It is also eliminating all single-use plastic products, including straws, plates, cups, and freezer bags by next year. Here on the slide, you can see some pictures of products that have circular capabilities. First, we have the spray bottle, which is made from leftover protective film that covers some IKEA products. Then we have the Kungsbacka kitchen fronts that are made out of recycled wood and recycled PET bottles. And lastly, the vases in the last picture are made from remelted recycled glass that has been rejected due to bubbles or defects. IKEA is testing the potential for more circular solutions with, for example, furniture leasing, take-back and buyback projects, and by helping customers repair, reuse, and recycle old furniture or to resell it. They have had different kinds of campaigns and projects in different countries. For example, last week, IKEA launched a campaign called Buy Back Friday as a response to Black Friday. Its stores around the world buy back old IKEA furniture from customers to give it a second life. The aim is that next year, every IKEA store would have a department where people can sell back their old furniture and find used furniture for an affordable price. In addition, IKEA is trialing different kinds of leasing options. In some countries, students can rent an IKEA furniture set for 30 euros a month. And IKEA is also leasing furniture to companies. After the leasing period, the company can either buy the furniture and return it, and IKEA will resell or recycle them. Another example is a circularity campaign that IKEA did in Russia to encourage visitors to reuse, recycle, and repair items. So, as you can see, IKEA is trying different options in different markets in order to see what works and what could be extended to other countries. The last section of our IKEA part is its strategies and improvement points. The IKEA concept is about providing a range of home furnishing products that are affordable to the many people, not just a few. This means offering lower prices and a wide variety of products. IKEA does have a sustainability strategy that includes three focus areas. They are healthy and sustainable living, circular and climate positive, and fair and equal. So, circular economy is clearly one of the main points of its sustainability strategy. Also, when browsing through IKEA's website, the company seems to be a forward-thinking global company that embraces principles of circular economy. Given the scale of IKEA's retail operations, it is understandable that changes made towards circular economy are quite slow. IKEA has roughly 10,000 products, so assessing each one of them takes time. However, since IKEA has this high volume, low price business model that I mentioned, and considering the size of the company, it is hard to imagine how the business could possibly become 100% circular in the next 10 years, which was their goal. We think that IKEA should step up the speed with their project, for example, expanding the buyback and licensing projects to more countries. We also think that IKEA's low prices might encourage impulse purchasing and disposability. Cheap products seem to be easier to replace than to fix. Now Petrina will tell you about our next company, Durat.
Thank you. Next, I'm going to present to you a company called Durat. Durat is a Finnish company that was founded in 1990. The main purpose behind the company was to develop material called Durat. Durat is a plastic material that consists of 30% of recycled plastic, and it is designed to be 100% recyclable. From this material, the company Durat manufactures counters, sinks, and furniture to kitchens and bathrooms for businesses and individual consumers. Durat's circular strategy is to make the material flow as circular as possible to ensure the production will not cause any landfill waste. About 20 to 25 tons of surplus plastic is used to produce the Durat raw material. This amount is comparable to plastic usage of 800 Finns yearly. The material production itself then reduces the same amount of virgin plastic. Durat's goal is to increase the amount of reused plastic in their material production in the future as well. To elongate the product's lifelines, Durat actively repairs and reuses their products. The material Durat uses can be easily fixed, and Durat is offering repair services for its customers. The products are also designed to be easily transferable and durable. And the material design also enables unusable Durat products to be crushed and reused in the raw material production. All of these steps reduce the amount of energy and virgin material that is required for production of new material. In addition to Durat's previous steps to a more circular economy, Durat is developing new ways to act more circularly. As a new service, Durat is now buying back unwanted Durat products from customers with 5% of the product's original purchasing price. Then the resold products are repaired and sold on their online store under a label Durat Circular. As we can see, circularity is a core part of Durat's business by material, product, and service design. Despite this, we have some improvement ideas for the company to become even more circular. We think that circularity is very tightly linked with transparency, and therefore we would suggest that Durat would increase its transparency, for example, on its material suppliers. Also, as Durat's main goals are so impactful, we would suggest that Durat would take action to increase its scope and people's awareness of the company. This they could do by more impactful marketing, pricing strategies, and by expanding their product lines and having more variety for different customer needs. We also think that Durat could utilize partnerships to grow its business. For example, by partnering with IKEA or Kesko. These companies could sell Durat products line in their stores, and therefore Durat could have a larger scale impact. Also, taking an example from IKEA, Durat could also have its own rental service, which would also promote the sharing point of view of the circular economy. Next, we will present you the company Kesko.
Yeah, thank you, Petrina. Kesko is one of the biggest and well-known companies in Finland. It operates in grocery trade, the building and technical trade, as well as the car trade. Kesko's divisions and chains act in close cooperation with retailer entrepreneurs, K-kauppiaat in Finnish, as well as several other partners. So let's take a closer look at Kesko's responsibility acts. Kesko's responsibility program consists of both short-term and long-term objectives. More specifically, there are 6 themes: excellent corporate governance and finance, customer society, working community, responsible purchasing, and sustainable selections and environment. Going forward, K Group continues to focus on its climate efforts, aiming to become fully carbon neutral by 2025. Kesko will take all necessary action needed to reduce emissions to zero from its own operations and transports during the next 10 years. So let's take a closer look at concrete action, successful action taken by Kesko. Kesko, in fact, has been ranked as the most sustainable grocery trade company in the world several times. Key elements are transparency in sourcing, slowing down climate change, and environmental care, as well as value creation. Kesko has also been included in the Dow Jones Sustainability Index that includes the best companies in each industry based on a thorough sustainability assessment. The assessment criteria include, for example, energy efficiency, emissions reduction, supply chain management. A few months ago, K Group has altered packaging of some 60 of its own brand products, for example, Pirkka products, sold in grocery trade, managing to reduce plastic use significantly. K Group aims to making its own brand product packaging either recyclable, biodegradable, or reusable within the next 4 years. So next, let's take a quick look at the suggested improvements we think Kesko could make. We have 5 things listed here. First of all, we think Kesko could be even more efficient with its logistics. Second, even better stock management, meaning less food or products go to waste. Third, educating and informing customers in all ways possible, and also giving even more products near the expiration date to charity. This is something that Kesko and other companies in Finland already do quite a bit, but we think they could do that even more. And lastly, we think Kesko could cooperate with different organizations to minimize the amount of food going to waste, not just by giving more food to charity, but perhaps create some kind of a system that would allow consumers to even perhaps resell unopened products. Probably most of you have heard about Fiksu Ruoka, so something like that we think would be a really good idea for Kesko to create. So next, Petrina will make a quick comparison of the three companies we have chosen.
Thank you, Mikko. So next we are comparing the organization strategies based on the previous information. We find Durat to be the most mature in its circular economy path. Like mentioned before, Durat was founded in 1990 to work towards a more circular economy. Kesko has also started its corporate social responsibility programs already in the 90s, but still isn't aiming to becoming fully circular, when IKEA instead is aiming to be circular by the year 2030 and has added the circularity in their operations later on its business path. So according to this, Finnish companies started their sustainable strategies earlier, but not all of them are aiming for it fully. Durat also differs from Kesko and IKEA by having its circular strategy close to its core business, when for IKEA and Kesko, it is mostly part of their sustainability and CSR strategies. Compared to IKEA and Durat, Kesko is more focused on sustainability because of the limitations of its field to shift towards circularity. Kesko has actually said to rely on this matter to customers' willingness to recycle. Next, we are moving on to the organization's circular economy leaders and partners. And firstly, we are introducing IKEA.
Thank you, Petrina. So let's start with IKEA's circular economy leaders. IKEA has a whole department for circular economy that leads the transfer into circularity. The company also has a department for sustainability. Now let's take a look at some of the organizations that IKEA is collaborating with regarding circular economy actions. Firstly, since June 2020, it has a strategic partnership with the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, which is familiar to us through our individual essays. It has also collaborated with the World Wildlife Fund in investigating waste streams in order to find out which materials IKEA could use to enable circularity. Then it is, of course, collaborating with its suppliers to remanufacture waste in order to develop recycled materials. IKEA also has different partnerships in different countries. For example, here in Finland, the IKEA stores collaborate with Gasum to produce biogas from their restaurants' food waste. Next, let's take a look at Kesko.
Thank you, Lea. So Kesko, as mentioned before, is a really large company that has several managers in different departments working with the circular economy. Kesko also works with Gasum, and other long-term key partner companies include Lassila and Tikanoja, better known as L&T, Nest and Neste, but there are literally dozens of smaller, perhaps less important partner companies as well. According to Timo Jäske, one of the key persons at Kesko responsible of circular economy, Kesko and Lassila and Tikanoja are both pioneers in promoting circular economy in their respective fields and have common values in this work. Kesko, with its partners, has started to innovate agile solutions for the future and created several success stories that are at the core of today's circular economy. According to Jäske, quite unsurprisingly, customers do highly appreciate the sustainability measures and actions taken by Kesko in general. So let's take a closer look at the other most important partner company, Gasum. Gasum actually receives about 1 million tons of biomass, also from 1 million tons of biomass per year, also from Kesko's K-Food stores, and turns it into biogas as well as nutrients and fertilizers for its customers. It's possible to use biogas in food production, so I'll explain shortly a really good example of how K Group, Gasum, and Lassila & Tikanoja. So, for example, K Group's Pirkka ice creams made in Turenki ice cream plant are actually manufactured using Finnish renewable biogas produced by Gasum. It's been produced from organic waste obtained from K Food stores, which Lassila & Tikanoja then delivers to Gasum's biogas plant. So that we think is circular economy at its purest. So let's take a look at Durat next. Please go ahead, Petrina.
Thank you. Durat as a company is leading circularity whole as a business because it is a core part of its business operations. Durat has product sites in Finland, US, and China. And Durat is also collaborating with some partners. For example, Durat has its own product line that they are supporting the John Nurminen Foundation with. Also, Durat works with business customers like Hotel Torni that sold their used Durat products back to Durat itself. Durat also partners with local repair businesses and has taken part in multiple design exhibitions around the world, for example in Shanghai. When comparing these three organizations, it varies how the businesses lead their circularity in their businesses. For example, IKEA has its own department for circular economy, when Kesko has several managers cooperating in their circular economy goals. And in Durat's case, circularity is their core business and led by material management and product design. Other differences and similarities are, for example, that IKEA and Durat have partnerships with nonprofits, and IKEA and Kesko both have partnerships with Gasum. Also, IKEA has the most international partners, probably because of its more international business environment. Also, compared to the other two, Durat has a smaller amount of partners. This might be because of its smaller size, but as mentioned before, it could benefit from having more cooperation with other businesses. Next, Lea will tell you how Finland is coping with circular economy.
Thank you, Petrina. So, Finland aims to be a frontrunner in circular economy. However, right now it is only in place 22 in the ranking of EU countries, according to Politico's index from 2019. So it is in the bottom half right now. Finland released the world's first national roadmap to circular economy in 2016. The driving force behind this roadmap is the Finnish Innovation Fund, Sitra. And this roadmap contains how Finland shifts to circular economy by the year 2025. Finnish circular companies are coming up with new innovations to alternative materials for products and packaging. Some examples are Sulapak and also Durat, which is already familiar from this presentation. One problem is that Finland doesn't have circular economy tax incentives, And this brings us to our policy suggestions.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Lea. So we really spent a lot of time during the past couple of days thinking about the policy suggestions for Finland to be even better in the circular economy. We have actually summed up the long list we had into 5 key things. First, we have tax incentives. For example, a low value-added tax rates, or perhaps no value-added tax at all for resold goods, as well as repair services. Second, higher taxation on companies polluting actions using fossil fuels, etc. But also emissions trading as a tool to make sure the companies that pollute make it as efficient as possible. This is an interesting and large topic that emissions trading does have its flaws, but it's been in use for more than 20 years already globally. But that's another story then. You have probably heard of Norway. That is a country that is really put a lot of resources into low tax on environmentally friendly products, such as Tesla electric cars. So, as far as we know, the results have been pretty convincing. So Finland could perhaps try something similar. Fourth, we think there should be more support for companies to adapt their processes to circularity. For example, free training programs, something like this. And lastly, we think it would be really important to increase education on circular economy on different levels, starting from elementary school all the way to university level. So we think these kind of improvements or changes take a long time. So it's important to make every citizen aware of these important things. So that means we have actually reached the end of our presentation. Thank you all for listening. And on the last slide, there are the sources we used to make this presentation. Thank you, everybody, and have a good day.